What is up, guys? Ninja Nick 333. We are here for the next round of the Pokemon Knoxville Regional Championships. And it looks like Chip's co-host here is Sprigatito. Love Sprigatito. Best starter of this generation. And we are going to, I believe, go straight into this game for the most part. Let me see if I can just skip ahead a little bit. We do have Xander Perot on the left and Isaiah Cheville on the right. Looks like we have a Mew VMAX deck versus a Lugia VSTAR deck. Nothing out of the ordinary here, except Xander is a tech god, from what I would like to say. Xander does like to play some oddball inclusions in his deck at times, and I do know for a fact that there are two cards that he is playing that are not named Aerodactyl, but are filling the Aerodactyl slots in a very interesting way. So, I did hear about this deck on my drive home from this tournament, and we are seeing one of them be started here. So Xander Perot is on both a Fusion Strike Dreepy that says if it's active, your opponent cannot retreat, and Pidgeot V, which allows you to never deck out, because if it is on your bench, you can put it on the bottom of your deck or shuffle it into the deck or something like that. So you can, yeah, once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may shuffle it and all attached cards into your deck. So yeah, just make sure that you can never deck out. So you can potentially put up Dreepy, have your opponent not be able to retreat, and then shuffle Pidgeot into your deck continuously after continuously top decking it. Thus making it so the Lugia player that you are against will auto lose by running them out of energies, essentially. You play the game like normal until you get to the point where you can maybe boss up a Snorlax that has full retreat, that can't get powered up because there's not enough energy left. You wait until they've played their Bird Keeper, identify if they have Bird Keeper or not. I don't believe that this does very well against the versions of the deck that my group was playing, because we were all playing, we were all playing Escape Rope, but some of them were also playing Bird Keeper on top of that to make sure you can move that Snorlax. So as soon as you identify this type of match, you are able to just play around that. But it is very good against the decks that it is very good against. I do think it is, in my opinion, a little bit better than the Aerodactyl, just because it can be more useful in more matchups. Say you play a Mew Mirror, all 4 double turbo energies have either been discarded or are in play. You can bring up a Genesect, put up the Dreepy, and then shuffle Pidgeot into your deck repeatedly. Just making it so your opponent definitely loses, and you can win a very long game 1, go into time in game 2, and win the match off of that. So very good for the Mirror, very good against Lugia, and just any other deck that plays high retreat cost Pokemon but not a lot of switching options. So we are now a couple turns in. Mew now has a full bench with a double turbo energy on it. Isaiah is able to get the Archeops into the discard pile. We're going to see an Evolution Incense here. Path to the Peak is also in play from Xander, so that is going to be blocking the Summoning Star from the Lugia VSTAR deck. So we will have to see if there is a way out of this for Isaiah. Isaiah will probably have to play something like the Pumpkaboo or a Lost Vacuum if he has that in hand in order to remove the Path to the Peak. Not a lot of Lugia decks are playing Stadiums. However, some decks this tournament were playing Collapse Stadium. I don't agree with Collapse Stadium in Lugia. I have a hard time managing my bench already. And by limiting myself one more spot, it feels really detrimental. It's fine if my opponent plays it, because then I can just like discard Luminion or Oranguru or something that's not actively helping me at that time, you know. Maybe I got my full use out of Manaphy and I can just discard that because maybe their Raikou is already gone or they're not playing it. So that's fine, but playing it on myself always hurts. So we do see the research is going to discard that new Archeops that was discarded. Well, is going to discard that new Archeops that was just searched. Being redundant here. We are going to get to the Lugia VSTAR. We could have guaranteed that with the previous Evo Incense, but then there would have only been one guaranteed Archeops in the discard pile. You always want to make sure you can get those Archeops into the discard first. If you're going to play something like Research, always get the Archeops first, and just hope that you draw into the Lugia, or the Ultra Ball, or the Evo Incense. Or the Capturing Aroma, if you're on that. Capturing Aroma is starting to grow on me as an idea. I think it'll be very good in post-rotation for Lugia, but until then, not so much. Not unless you want a 5th Evo Incense on top of your 4 Ultra Balls. Xander does not really have anything going for him at this point, so he is just going to draw and pass. Isaiah was not able to use Summoning Star because of the Path to the Peak, but this gives him an additional turn to try to draw the out to the path. He is going to Marnie both himself and his opponent here as well. We are going to see if maybe there is a Quick Ball in hand to get the Pumpkaboo, should Isaiah be playing that. There is a Quick Ball, but he's not immediately going for it, so maybe he doesn't have the out. He gets an Evolution Incense as well, so he could play that, get Archeops, then discard the Archeops with the Quick Ball, just to thin that deck of one more card. We do see Pumpkaboo in there, so that is likely the route we are going to be seeing right now. Grab either Lugia VSTAR or Archeops just to thin the deck of a card, Quick Ball that away. For the Pumpkaboo, play the Pumpkaboo, get rid of Path to the Peak, bench your 2 Archeops from the discard pile using Summoning Star, and then you could honestly just take the knockout on the active with the Stoutland even. Feels a little bad attacking with Stoutland, but honestly, why put the Lugia up if you don't have to? He would need to devote 1 powerful colorless energy or a choice belt in order to attack with the Stoutland, so maybe he will want to retreat it. But nope, looks like he doesn't go for the Pumpkaboo and just passes? I'm not quite sure why Isaiah is playing this way, because we saw the Pumpkaboo in his deck. I don't know why you wouldn't want to get the first knockout. Pidgeot shuffles itself back into the deck, so you are now able to get another Fusion Strike Pokemon into play, potentially. We are going to Genesect. We get the Forest Seal Stone into play as well, so we are going to be able to search our deck for any 1 card we need at any point in the game, so long as that tool stays on that Genesect. Even if Path to the Peak is in play, you can still use it. We do also flip heads on the Crim-O-Matic, so we can search our deck for any 1 card. Looks like we're going to go for the Choice Belt. I believe that there will be a knockout on this Stoutland very easily in the future here. Oh, it looks like we're going for something else. That was picked up pretty quick, so I did not get a chance to see that. Looks like that was the Ultra Ball. Interesting that he chooses Ultra Ball instead of just the card he would have searched with the Ultra Ball, but he likely wants to thin his hand out more to find more cards that he wants for later. Maybe he wants to potentially draw into a second Mew VMAX. Xander is one of the most skilled players in the game, so he definitely knows what he is doing here. Does discard Oricorio and Judge. Oricorio not super relevant against Lugia VSTAR. It can essentially cancel out one of the powerful colorless energies, but they can always stack on an additional one in order to counteract that. We are going to go for the Boss's Orders on the Lugia VSTAR, and that is why we're going for this play. We are digging as hard as we can for as many Power Tablets and Choice Belt as we can. We are trying to take a one-shot on this Lugia VSTAR now before Isaiah has a chance to use the Summoning Star. So there is 1 Power Tablet. So we are now hitting for 220. We need 1 more Power Tablet and a Choice Belt, or 2 more Power Tablets. So it looks like we are not quite getting there. That's definitely why he discarded those cards. I do agree with that. Looks like we do have another Path to the Peak as well, but he already played Lost City this turn. You can only play 1 Stadium card a turn. So this is allowing Isaiah to be able to use Summoning Star this turn. So Xander did not draw exactly what he wanted, which is unfortunate. If he was able to draw just one more Power Tablet or the Choice Belt, he could have used the Forest Seal Stone to grab the other, and then we would have seen the knockout on the Lugia VSTAR, and then Isaiah likely just scooped from there. They still have plenty of time for 3 games. They have 40 minutes here. This game will likely be decided on whether or not Isaiah can maybe attack with Yveltal this turn, and whether or not he's playing Drapion as well. Yeah, I don't see that there's a Drapion in his deck, which is what I would agree with, but some people just like to guarantee the win against Mew. So we may be going just for the Yveltal this turn to take 3 prize cards and put up a 1 prizer. But I'm not sure what your follow-up is after that. Maybe Charizard? So we do see the Yveltal. Looks like we are going to shuffle up first. Puts his deck sideways. That's signifying that he's still going back in. We are going to see the Summoning Star bring out 2 Archeops. We will use our Primal Turbo. We are going to fully power up this Yveltal on the bench. We do see there is a Heat Fire energy. There are likely double turbos in deck. So there is Heat Fire Aurora. Now the next one should be Aurora and double turbo. Looks like we're not going for it just yet, though. We are shuffling. Are we trying to draw into something? Maybe we're trying to draw into the double turbo first so that we can retreat with the Lugia VSTAR. That could be a potential thing. That would make sense. Looks like we are going to use the monkey. I think we got Pumpkaboo off of that. And now we're going to go for the Primal Turbo. He may have put an energy onto top of his deck with that as well. Well, yeah, it looks like it was Aurora, so he needed to get the Aurora into deck. But he does need an energy from hand in order to attach to retreat this Lugia VSTAR. He has a 2 retreat cost, so in order to attack, is definitely going to need to attach another energy. I believe he has one in hand. Yep, he does have a capture energy. Has a full bench, so can't use the capture energy, but that is perfectly fine. We are going to hard retreat into this Yveltal. We are going to use Amazing Destruction to one-shot the Mew VMAX, taking the first 3 prize cards of the game, going halfway to a win instantly. So yeah, pretty big whiff on those Power Tablets and Choice Belts for Xander there. Because you can see just how much advantage Isaiah got off of just that one Summoning Star. He now has a full powered up Yveltal. This is very unfortunate. It's kind of forced into going for the research, but drew into that Radiant Charizard. So has to go for that in order to get a fresh hand so he can do things the next turn. It'll also force Xander to want to go for maybe something like a Judge. And Xander will also have to deal with this Yveltal as well. He'll only take 1 prize card, and he won't be really chasing Isaiah too fast, but still perfectly fine, because that is the most threatening thing that Isaiah can even put into play. If he can get rid of that, the other Pokemon aren't doing too much. He still has the option for the powerful colorless energies, but looks like we are going to be playing Roxanne immediately. That's kind of funny that on Xander's 3rd turn, he's already being able to play Roxanne after only his opponent taking 1 knockout. Or his 3rd turn of the game, I think it is. So it does bench the Pidgeot first because you can Roxanne, make sure you don't draw into the Pidgeot, then shuffle the Pidgeot back into your deck. Just, again, as a way to guarantee you don't draw into it. Playing Pidgeot, not quite as good as playing 59 cards in your deck, but looks like we are going for the Cram-O-Matic. Almost looked like he was quick balling, but you can always tell by the die. So I think he went for a Mew VMAX with the Cram-O-Matic. We are going to Quick Ball away, Quick Ball to get Mew VMAX, shuffle back in the Pidgeot V. We're going to bench that Mew V, and then we can draw a whole bunch of cards. So again, very interesting to see the Pidgeot V in this deck. I think the Pidgeot V is also good because if you get, say, Marnied and all your good stuff is on the bottom, you can just Pidgeot back into your deck, and then the deck is now shuffled. And you're more likely to draw into those pieces. That could be another reason to be playing it as well. We do see the Path to the Peak replacing the Lost City as well, trying to probably prevent Isaiah from getting something like a Luminion on this next turn. We are going to just take the knockout. I believe we are likely using Max Miracle with the Mew VMAX on the bench, copying its attack. So Isaiah does promote the Stoutland V, which is a very interesting decision because that does not have anywhere near enough energy to retreat, and also cannot one-shot the active. So Isaiah is probably going to want to have some sort of gusting effect in order to even use the Stoutland as an attacker here. Looks like he draws into a Marnie. That's not a gusting card. You want Boss or Serena here. Or even Escape Rope if you're playing that. Although Escape Rope would just go into the other Mew VMAX, I'm pretty sure. Although, I don't know. Do you risk your opponent having all of those powerful colorless energies? They do have two Archeops in play. See, a very interesting matchup so far. We are going to go for double turbo V-Guard. So that is going to force one Power Tablet or Choice Belt out of Xander in order to take this knockout. So I do agree with putting the V-Guard energy down here. It doesn't really do too much, does not get too much mileage on the Lugia V-Star since it has so much damage already on it. And we are going to play a Marnie as well. Isaiah's still deciding what to do. Probably just going to go for the attack. Oh, actually, the V-Guard energy doesn't really matter because you do 30 to yourself anyway. I still agree with putting it on there, but the math from it doesn't matter at all. It's just a colorless energy at this point. Serves more of a purpose just putting a colorless energy on the Stoutland than it would on that Lugia V-Star later, so might as well. So Xander has a decision here. Does he want to retreat and go for the knockout on the Stoutland? Does he want to try to remove the Lugia V-Star? I think since the Stoutland is the one with all of the energy right now, I think you do go for that. He could always just try to take out an Archeops as well. Although you're not going for a good prize trade at that point, is the only issue with going for the Archeopses. If Isaiah only got one Archeops out, I definitely think that this would be the turn to take out the Archeops. But unfortunately, there are two of those. Xander will likely have to Psychic Leap at some point as well. Maybe he can Psychic Leap onto the Lugia V-Star. Oh, just hits for the 190 as well. So this is very interesting because Isaiah will knock himself out if he attacks with the Stoutland now. And then Xander could potentially take a 4-prize turn, because he'll be able to take 2 prize cards on his opponent's turn. I think that then Xander can go for a boss on an Archeops. No, I guess not. Not anymore. Not that those energies are coming down now. Oh, we see quad powerful colorless energy come down onto the Lugia V-Star. And this goes to show exactly how powerful this deck is. You can retreat the V-Guard double turbo off, and then take and Choice Belt and take the knockout on the active Mew VMAX, going down to 0 prize cards. Only took 2 knockouts that entire game, and Xander was brutally punished for not getting that power tablet or choice belt on that one turn earlier in the game. So we are now up 1 game as Isaiah. We're going to see if we can keep that up. If we can go 2-0 here against Xander. We're going to see what these prize cards are, if I can track correctly on YouTube, since this video is so long. I am trying to get back into streaming more, guys. I know it's been like a month since my last stream, but one of my friends has all my Lugia stuff online, and he won't trade it back to me. So I'm trying to get that stuff because I really only want to play test Lugia mostly. But I will have to be playing some other decks too. So we get double turbo is not ideal for Xander here. That's going to be really hard to draw into your first one of the game. We see Aurora, Speed Lightning. I don't think much of this really matters. I think the Aurora is the most important card that's been prized. And the Pumpkaboo, actually. The Pumpkaboo being in the prize cards is really rough. Although he didn't really use it in the first game, so, I mean, I guess. So we are quick balling away an Ultra Ball here for Xander. We are going to be prize checking. We've got to see if we have access to that amazing Pidgeot and Dreepy. Fusion Strike Dreepy, to be precise. I'm pretty sure that the Dragapult, the stage 2 that evolves off the Dreepy, hits for like 40 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for like each Dreepy you discard or something. It might be like 50 or 100. No, I think it's like 50. I can't remember. It's something kind of ridiculous in all honesty. Yep, there is that Dreepy. We do see it on the screen now. Oh, I thought it was an ability. It's a Psychic type attack for 10. That's right. So you cross Fusion Strike, use Infestation for 10, and your opponent can't retreat. It's actually for 0 because of the double turbo energy. I forgot about that. I thought it was an ability. That's my bad. I'm glad they put that on the screen so I could correct myself. They're telling him not to tap his cards. He gets a little angry, starts throwing things around. Not how you want to be doing that. And then passes. So, yep, does not have a very good start. Normally, if you're like in a mirror match or something, you would want to retreat the Mew V into one of the Genesects to make sure that the only Mew you have in play doesn't get knocked out. But Lugia cannot knock you out on the first turn. Looks like we are just going for an Irida turn 1 here. That will likely get another Luminion and maybe an Evo Incense or a Ball Search card to try to get some Archeops in the discard pile. So we're going to get Luminion. Looks at our hand. Still needs to get one more card here. Looks like a Quick Ball. We're going to immediately Quick Ball away that Archeops, as I stated was going to happen. We are going to go for the Lugia V, still prize checking a little bit here, making sure we have access to what we need in order to win the game, potentially. Evo Incense again, likely getting another Archeops. Hopefully we have another Quick Ball. Yes, we do. Get a second Lugia V down because you are going second. Mew could always do some crazy things with a boss's orders in order to bring up your only Lugia V in play and knock it out with a Choice Belt or one Power Tablet. So you want to make sure you have double Lugia V in play so that you still have access to Summoning Star on the next turn. Looks like Isaiah just passes from there, but that's everything he needs on the first turn. He's got double Lugia, he's got double Archeops in the discard pile. So hopefully Xander proceeds to not brick for the rest of the game. He did draw a little bit suboptimally in game 1 and is definitely drawing very poorly in this game. Does go for the Cram-O-Matic, discarding the Echoing Horn, fails it, is going to Quick Ball again. We are going to grab a Mew V so that we have 2 of those in rotation here. And now we have 5 Pokemon in play that are all Fusion Strikes, so we can draw until we have up to 5 cards in our hand. He is going to tap his Genesect, as he was already told he should not be doing. But that's kind of muscle memory in all honesty. We do get the double turbo. We still need to see the Mew VMAX. We have another Quick Ball in hand. We could grab another Genesect, another Mew V, or a Choreo, even Dreepy in all honesty. Dreepy, again, is a Fusion Strike Pokemon, so that will allow you to draw an extra card if it's on the bench. We are going to Quick Ball away a Collapse Stadium. Again, not sure why people are playing Collapse Stadium in Mew right now. That does not seem like a good inclusion. Just making yourself draw less cards. I guess maybe it's a tech for Regis to make sure that you don't lose to Regis as hard. But at that point, I would rather just play Avery. So we do see the Forest Seal Stone's ability go off. We're going to search our deck for 1 card. That will probably be that Mew VMAX that we have been lacking for all of this time. Mew can just knock out the active Lumineon. I do honestly think that that is a little better than knocking out the Lugia Vs that are on the bench, just because the Lumineon can later in the game grab more supporters, like Boss's Orders, and make it so your opponent can take easier knockouts on certain things. So getting rid of the Lumineon is a lot better now that there's 2 Lugia Vs in play. If only one of them gets evolved, there is still a low HP V Pokemon in play. So just take out the Lumineon so it does not get reshuffled back into the deck. And we just go for a Read the Wind for Isaiah. So this is the opportunity that Xander needs. He has his Path to the Peak in play already. He does need a way to switch his Mew. Looks like we are going to go for the Judge since Isaiah just drew 3 cards off of Read the Wind. This is essentially getting rid of all of the other cards that he would have access to. We're going to hope that Xander can draw into double turbo Mew VMAX, I suppose, but again, we know that he prized a couple double turbo energies. I don't think he's dug into those yet. So he might need like a switch cart or something if he plays those. I don't believe we've seen him play Cross Switcher yet, which again is very odd that so many people are cutting Cross Switcher when that's like the best card in the Mew deck. Looks like we are playing the Lost Vacuum, maybe? We're going to Lost Zone the Pidgeot. I would have gotten rid... Well, I guess, yeah. I guess it's better to get rid of the Pidgeot than it is to get rid of the Battle VIP Pass, just because you can Cram-O-Matic away a Battle VIP Pass, so it has a little bit more use. Oh, so I saw that the Path to the Peak was no longer in play. I think maybe Xander... I gotta listen to this.
System, you're supposed to have 6 with these 6 in play. This is what happens when you run so many non-Fusion Strike Pokemon in the deck.
Oh, he drew an extra card off the first Fusion Strike system before he benched another Pokemon, maybe?
Yeah, so he's plus
1 card.
Yeah, the 6th card was the Cram-O-Matic that he saved the Battle VIP Pass for.
Oh my.
Okay, so I guess he drew 1 less than he was supposed to with a Genesect. And there was a very easy fix that the judges were able to come up with, which was just draw an extra card. So we do see the retreat switch cart. We were able to play the Cramomatic that we saved the Battle VIP pass for. I'm not sure. I think it was the first Genesect that he drew one less card with, but so long as it didn't really affect what happened with the second Genesect, then it would be fine just drawing that extra card. So as long as the judges are paying that close of attention. And then Isaiah just scoops and we go to the next game. So yeah, that was very easily won by Xander there. We're going to have to see if they can play a very fast game 3, because they are going into game 3. You do not usually have enough time to play a full game 3 because of how time rules work. And of course I try to skip slightly ahead, and now my YouTube's not loading. I just want to see the prize cards, bro. Alright. So we see one double turbo, one Genesect, one Mew VMAX, one battle. Yeah, so this isn't too bad here. And this isn't too bad here either. I guess we prized one Luminion, so we only have access to one during this match for Isaiah. But as long as you prize check your Pokemon on your first search of the game, it should be perfectly fine. Gets an Archeops off the top deck from the Monkey Time Wisdomness. We are going to likely see an Ultra Ball getting rid of this. Oh, no, we're going to go Quick Ball first. See, I would have Ultra Balled away the Archeops to grab an Archeops to Quick Ball away, personally. Especially since I am going first. I have no fear that my one Lugia V will be knocked out or alive. It will definitely stay alive because Mew VMAX can only attack on turn 2 or later. Also important to know, I'm sure Xander got a warning for that fix they had to do. I don't think it was serious enough to warrant a prize card penalty, but either way Isaiah scooped, so it didn't matter. But if he makes that same mistake again later in the tournament, he will likely get a prize card penalty for that mistake. So we do see the turn 1 Battle VIP pass from Xander. Hopefully we are going to turbo our way to victory, or maybe Isaiah can pull out a win from his booty like he did in that first game. They still have about 17 minutes left. With the pace of play from these two players, I do actually expect a conclusion from this. Both of these players are somewhat well known, I do believe. I believe that I know Xander for a fact has won regionals before. So they are very aware of time. We do see Isaiah is wearing a watch as well. Right, so we do draw some cards with a first Genesect. We get another Mew V. We can draw even more cards. We have Mew VMAX now. That'll be great for next turn. We have Path to the Peak as well, which is exactly what we want. Hopefully Isaiah will actually go for the Pumpkaboo this time in order to get around that. We do have an Ultra Ball, so we can. However, we would also need a Lugia VSTAR in combination with that, so I don't know if we have enough to get there. We are going to use the Monkey, see if we can get there. Monkey see, Monkey Primate do. We are going to have, yeah, we have an Ultra Ball and a Marnie. So I would play the Ultra Ball to get the Pumpkaboo. Then Marnie. Or do you Ultra Ball for the VSTAR? And then hope to get a Quick Ball for the Pumpkaboo, or just draw into it. I think, honestly, I would leave the Pumpkaboo in deck, go for the VSTAR. Because if I miss what I need, I think I'd rather miss the Pumpkaboo than the Lugia VSTAR. Just because the Lugia VSTAR gives my V Pokemon more HP. And then, if I also whiff, then Xander is still under the Path Lock. So Xander might be forced to replace his own stadium on the next turn. So yeah, I do like that play, getting the Lugia VSTAR here from Isaiah. And we do get Quick Ball off the top card here for Isaiah, so we do have the potential to use the Primal Turbo, the Summoning Star, this turn, should we want to do that. I think if you don't go for it, you are being a little bit risky for the Bisky here. We are going to go Capture Energy. Gonna grab, it looks like another Lugia V. I do think Lugia V is a little bit better of an attacker in this matchup than something along the lines of maybe Raikou. Also important to note that Oricorio is in play as well. Lugia still should be able to get the knockout this turn, as long as there's the 2 double turbos you have access to. Oh no! So since he Capture Energied, he couldn't attach for turn onto the active. Did he have a ball? Yeah, he had the Quick Ball. So I don't like how Isaiah played this turn. Because what I would have done was I would have attached the double turbo to the active. Then Quick Balled for Pumpkaboo, discard the Path, retreat the Oranguru into Lugia VSTAR. Summoning Star, double Primal Turbo, get 3 Powerfuls and a V-Guard onto Lugia VSTAR. Taking the knockout on the Mew V, and then my opponent has a very small likelihood of being able to one-shot the Lugia VSTAR in response. You could even go for a double turbo on the Lugia VSTAR as well if you really wanted to. Because even with the Oricorio and the double turbo reducing damage, you should be able to take the knockout on a Mew V. You would still be hitting 180. So we are doing some crams. We're flipping more heads. I wish I could flip heads on cram like that in Mew. Mew is one of my favorite decks to play, but I hate coin flip cards, which is why I refuse to play Capturing Aroma in Lugia. And it's one of the many reasons why I'm not playing Mew right now, even though it's one of my more favorite decks. My favorite decks right now are Mew and Lugia. I think I'm leaning more towards Lugia right now, just because it's just more solid of a deck in the meta space right now. Looks like we are using Glistening Droplets with the Mew V, copying Oricorio's attack. So we're going to put 4 to the active, or no, 4 to the bench, 1 to the active. So it looks like we may be able to play around a potential V-Guard energy now, forcing Isaiah to still be able to retreat the Oranguru, forcing more resources out of him that way. Again, Xander knowing he does have the Dreepy in deck, so he can go for a deck-out strategy at some point. Although with 11 minutes left on the clock, I don't know if you can go for a deck-out strategy. But I still like this better than just taking the knockout on the Oricorio. I would rather just wait the one more turn, soften up the Lugia VSTAR so it's an easier one-shot later. We do get a second Lugia VSTAR down here for Isaiah, and now we have to make that decision on if we're going to get rid of the Path to the Peak or not. We have that double turbo in hand to attach to the Oranguru and retreat. I think that you definitely go for it now. The Mew VMAX has 310 HP. As long as you're able to get into Choice Belt and triple powerful colorless energy, that will be a one-shot knockout. Looks like we are attaching a powerful colorless energy for a turn and just passing. Again, I'm not sure what Isaiah is even doing here. I mean, he played Marnie, right? But yeah, I'm not sure why he like actively chose to not discard Path. And just again, just goes for Glistening Droplets, just puts 5 on the Lugia VSTAR. We are going to use Primate Wisdom yet again. Looks like we get Roxanne off of this. Xander very comfortable taking his time even only with 10 minutes left on the clock. He knows exactly what he's doing. He is able to control the match like this by leaving that Oricorio active. He wants to make sure he can remove any of the threats from Isaiah's board. And again, even with 10 minutes left at this point in the game, when you get to the +3 turns, Xander should be able to take 6 prize cards. So we finally see the quick ball for the Pumpkaboo. We still have that double turbo in hand we can attach. So I don't know why it took Isaiah so many turns in order to go for this exact play. He is playing the correct Pumpkaboo. He does have the Trick or Trade version with that little Pikachu face pumpkin stamp thing on it. Looks like we are going to go for the Marnie. Guess we're going to put that double turbo energy back into deck so that we can maybe attach something else. I think Isaiah's just trying to make Xander knock out the Oranguru, but I don't know. I think you're just perfectly comfortable just leaving it up there until Xander is able to draw into something like a boss's orders. Oh, Isaiah's been going against it because he wants to make sure he gets double Archeops. So that's the reason why he has not been going for that play. That makes a lot of sense now, but I don't agree with how many turns he just kind of drew past, you know? I think just getting the Archeops out and getting some use out of it is a little bit better than just draw passing that many turns. It looks like he redrew a double turbo energy as well, so he might as well have just played that at first. But looks like we do just hit in with the Lugia VSTAR onto the Mew VMAX. That we will probably see a knockout. We get another Mew VMAX, another double turbo energy. So we are 50 short right now, so we only need 2 damage modifiers. We have 1 in hand. We have 1 power tablet. And we have a Forest Seal Stone. We have not used a V-Star power yet, so we do have the knockout on this Lugia V-Star this turn. Being able to go in and take the first prize cards of the game, taking 2 prize cards, in fact. So we are going to use Genesect to draw an extra 1 card. Looks like we are going to be going for the Cram-O-Matic to try to get it that way instead. Do get the heads. Do not have to use the Forest Seal Stone just yet. Oh, we're going for the boss instead. Looks like maybe we'll just take out the Archeops this turn. I do like that as well. I think that that's actually a little bit better, because then Isaiah can never set up an Evital. He has to be forced to go in with these 2 Lugia V-Stars that can't get powered up. Yeah, he'll be forced to put the same Lugia V-Star active again. Xander can continue to attack with the one that's in the active, but I would rather see the retreat just to make sure that you don't get one-shot. And this is why Isaiah was holding off so many turns to, you know, to put the Archeops in play. Because he didn't want this exact situation to happen. So yeah, we're likely going to see a retreat in Technoblast. They only have 6 minutes left. Isaiah's gonna... Xander's gonna have to start playing a little bit faster here. He definitely has the game within his sights, but you want to make sure you have enough turns left. Because Isaiah's next current turn could just take 5 minutes. You never know. So Isaiah really thinking here. Doesn't really have much to do, so shouldn't really be taking this long to think. That's the thing, is that when you get into this type of situation, your opponent might just start slow playing in order to kind of guarantee the tie. You're both wearing watches, so you're both aware of how much time is left. Also, cool Blastoise watch. Just realized that's a Blastoise watch. So we do see the Radiant Charizard get benched. We are going to see the Oranguru is going to Primate Wisdom, something to the top of the deck. We see an Evo Incense. That does not really help. You do know what's coming in your next turn, though, for a draw. We are going to Boss's Orders that Mew VMAX up. We are going to be able to take the first 3 prize cards of the game now. So even though Isaiah's one and only Archeops went down, he is now setting it up so that the Charizard could potentially close out the game here for him. It won't be able to one-shot a Mew VMAX, but it certainly will be able to take a knockout on a Genesect or a Mew V. We are going to see a Power Tablet. We are going to Ultra Ball away the Dreepy. Isaiah's like, what in the heck is that card? He's like, I see it says Fusion Strike and it says 10 damage. What, why are you playing that? We are going to use some Genesect draws. How far are we going to get in here? Do we have another damage modifier? We do. We have another Power Tablet. We do need to play that in order to get the knockout. Again, you only have 3.5 minutes left, Xander. You got to take a knockout this turn so you have enough turns left in time. Looks like we are also getting a choice belt here as well. We're going to play the Path to the Peak and take the knockout. So the Path to the Peak will shut off the Charizard as well, very important to note. Since it is, even though it's not a 2-prize Pokemon, it is a Rule Box Pokemon. All Rule Box Pokemon are shut off by Path to the Peak. So Isaiah's going to have to find a way to remove that path. He's already used the Pumpkaboo. He's going to have to find his Lost Vacuum. Looks like he is going to promote Pumpkaboo. This is a very odd game state that we're in, but it does look like Xander is going to be able to pull this game out at this point. We do see that Evo Incense get played. Search our deck for just either an Archeops or a Lugia VSTAR. I believe we've played both Lugia VSTARs, so it would just be an Archeops if there are any left in the deck. Yep, we do get that thinned out. Only 2 minutes left. Will we see a conclusion? I'm pretty sure we will. I don't really know what Isaiah really does from here with that Path to the Peak in play. He can't attack with Charizard, even if he gets another energy on it, because it will have a 5 attack cost. See, the Stoutland comes out now, discarding the Archeops. Again, just thinning the deck. We are going to Primate Wisdom, put the boss on top of the deck, attach an energy for a turn to the Lugia. We've already used all of our double turbos, so we are going to have to see another 2 turns to attach to the Lugia V-Star. We need to see that Lost Vacuum, and that is why we research here. That's why we thinned as much as we could. Just see the pass. He's going to retreat, evolve, Echoing Horn, and then knockout. Yeah, Xander played that turn so lightning fast, and that's so that Isaiah is forced to draw before time is called. Draw, draw, yep. So now Xander will have, they both will still have 2 turns left to play. It'll be this turn for Isaiah and 2 more turns for Xander. And I'm not really sure what you do if you're Isaiah at this point. I think the game is definitely just lost. Even if you removed the Path to the Peak during this turn, I think that Xander will likely be able to get into a Boss's Orders in order to bring up that Stoutland and win the game off of it. And that's really unfortunate for Isaiah. He did play that correctly in thinning out his deck to maximize the likelihood he would draw into what he needed, but does get that Stoutland Echoing Horn into play. To be fair, if Isaiah did not go for that, a Lugia V would have been Echoing Horned instead. So it's only a 10 HP difference, and either way you need a damage modifier in order to take the knockout. So the difference between the Stoutland and the Lugia V is very negligible. The only difference is if Isaiah is for some reason playing 3 Lugia VSTARs, it could potentially evolve if Xander whiffs the gusting effect to bring it up and take the full game. But Xander has 2 turns to do it. Looks like we are going to see a Marnie. I don't believe that Xander had what he needed in hand, so we are going to have to see if maybe we see a replacement for the Path to the Peak, or if we can just draw into, say, a boss's orders. We do have the Lost Vacuum and the Stadium. Okay, so yep, we probably have game here. We have a way to draw more cards. We do draw a card for turn as well, so this is turn 1 of time. We are going to see the Lost Vacuum is going to get rid of the Path to the Peak. He is going to play the Lost City, Power Tablet, and now we are going to draw 5 cards. And it's all Ball Search and a Cram-O-Matic. So we're going to see the Cram go off first. And then if that fails, we can play out the Ball Search and have one more Genesect. Looks like we failed that one. So what I would do is I would Ultra Ball, discard the 2 cards that are not Quick Ball. Ooh. Yeah, I would have Ultra Balled the 2 cards that are not Quick Ball, grab a Pokemon, discard that with the Quick Ball. Just to thin out as much as possible. Guarantee I can draw into the rest of my deck. Isaiah does double check his deck to see if he has his win condition in there. Or is that a Power Tablet? I guess you can just play that anyway. And he does have the boss's orders, so he is able to retreat, play boss, bring up Stoutland. He has the choice belt already, so Xander wins the game 2-1. Pretty well played from Isaiah there. Not really anything else to say, but that's kind of how Mew decks like to operate. They just try to shut off the Lugia with the Path to the Peak, and things like Roxanne and Path as well. And Xander just has a very interesting list with the Dreepy and the Pidgeot. Those didn't really end up mattering at all in the matchup, but you can see, I hope I tried to explain how that they would work in these situations where they would be relevant. Do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Feed that hungry YouTube algorithm. Only about 15% of you are subscribed right now. So let's increase that so that we can get more content going. If we can get remonetized at some point, I can pour that money back into the channel and we can get even more cool stuff going on. So again, hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next time.